After watching the Orville on Thursday, I immediately released a video in which I gave a knee-jerk reaction to what I saw there, and it led to some misinterpretation as to what my problem was with it. I have since pulled the video from YouTube. I apologize to those that I offended by this. I will do my best to try to make fair and more analytical videos from here on out. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and on this episode, episode 2 of the second season of the Orville Primal Urges. The Primal Urges is referring to Bortus, a second of the Bortus-centered stories this season, and in this case, Bortus has a problem. While the Orville has gone into orbit around a planet that is being vaporized by an exploding sun, Bortus is not very interested in what's going on, rather wants to take off early from his ship. The captain allows this, and this happens over a number of days, and at the same time, he's not going home. His mate, Clyden, is becoming concerned that he's according to Bortus, working long hours, and the captain's asking him to do extra things. Being the third in command, he says to Bortus, why can't you just ask to be let up a little bit in your duties? And Bortus says, well, I have to do what the captain tells me to do. Which, of course, he's lying. He is going to the simulation room and running pornographic holograms, in which he is the subject of various stereotypical sex films. Of course, with all Moclan characters and things like this, they're able there to show off the makeup skills of the special effects department, of showing, full body makeup for Bortus and other similar Moclans. And it's actually very good makeup work. I was taken aback by this. This was a little more in your face than I expected it to be. Although I should have paid attention to the parental warnings at the beginning of the show to expect that there was going to be something that was going to be edgy. And the fact of the matter is that pornography addiction is a real problem that affects a lot of people, and they have the same kind of problem as any other addiction, where even under their better judgment, they tend to go back and do the same things over and over. And this was shown in quite a bit of detail as Bortus is not only going repeated times, but becoming kind of bored with what's already there and approaches another crew member who's rumored to have more hardcore stuff. And it introduces a virus in the ship, which wreaks havoc. So Bortus has set a lot of stuff off here. He's endangered the ship. He's endangered his marriage. And yet he continues to do this, even after Clyden, suspecting that there's just something wrong with their marriage, decides to stab him in the chest. The doctor brings him out of it, but we find out that that's the standard way that you file for a divorce on Mokla. You stab your partner, you kill them if you can. And the partner's okay with that, if that's what it comes to. But they decide that they do want to reconcile, and they go into counseling at the insistence of the captain and Dr. Finn. He's taken off duty and continues to do the addictive activity. I was taken aback, honestly, by the simulations. They were safe enough for TV. They were, however, fairly representative, it would seem, of pornographic videotapes of the 80s, where you have dungeons and doctors' offices and things like that. I thought at first blush that that was overdoing it a little bit, that it made me uncomfortable. But it's quite possible that the purpose of this whole show was to make you uncomfortable, to realize that this is a problem. This is not just somebody having fun and their family isn't taking it right. Certainly my own reaction to it is enough to show what kind of stigma there is attached to something that is the same kind of addiction that any other kind of addiction is. And you can get addicted to anything. The comedy was kept to a minimum. It was done in as tasteful a way, with still keeping it light. There are a few little jokes in there, but nothing big, nothing that made a mockery of what they were doing. Nothing that diminished the impact of the story they were trying to tell. It all comes down to how Bordas is able to get himself out of all of this. And part of it is not going to be solved in just one episode, and they made that fairly clear. The other part, where they find that there are people on the planet that need to be rescued, are a situation that was not of Bordas's doing. The planet was breaking up faster than they thought. There were twice as many people as they could get on a shuttle before the planet blew, and they had to make a determination of who was going to live and who was going to die in a very short order. And it was at that moment that we see kind of a breakthrough with Bordas, in that he values his family. What would happen if it were his family along with 70 people on a planet of which only 35 could be saved? His family is important, and that was a way that it became reality to him, that with the fact that people can die at any time, that you have to hold on to those that you love and make sure that you're doing right by them. So we see that by the end of the episode that Bordas is going to work his way to alleviate this addiction. It was a powerful episode. We're told that there are going to be some other challenging episodes this season. Let's see what they do. But in the meantime, I would appreciate your subscribing, your clicking the bell so you don't miss another video, and sticking around. So until next time, don't go far.